to another episode of MK's Kitchen. So today, y'all, is giving brunch vibes, and we are making chicken and waffles. We've already cleaned and patted our chicken dry. This is all of our seasonings that we'll be adding to our chicken. And y'all, let's get into today's recipe. So first, we're going to start off with our marinade. We have some buttermilk. And usually it takes about 2 or 3 cups to fill up, as long as it gets past your chicken. We're also going to add in 1 egg that I've already scrambled. And then we're going to take half of some lemon juice. And then take your favorite hot sauce and add about 1/4 of a cup. We're going to be adding some seasonings. So we have our Sazon, 1 packet. We're going to be adding some salt. Black pepper, of course. Some garlic powder. Onion powder, some chili powder, some smoked paprika, a little bit of lemon pepper. We're just going to give that a nice mix. You can use your hands if you would like to. I'm just using a fork to toss them around. Just make sure they kind of get well combined. We're going to put this in the refrigerator for a couple hours, or you could do this for overnight. And this is pretty much how it looks. So go ahead and cover it up with some plastic wrap and place it in the fridge. So for our all-purpose flour breading seasoning, we got about 2.5 cups of flour. We use another Sazon packet, a little bit of seasoning blend or your favorite all-purpose seasoning. We're going to add just a little bit of salt, some more black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, some paprika, some more lemon pepper, ground mustard, and we're just going to give that a nice whisk. And don't be afraid to add some seasonings, y'all. Add as much as you like to this breading. This is really going to be the crisp of our chicken. And we're also going to add some cornstarch, just about a couple of tablespoons. You could also use baking powder if you like. And just whisk that on up some more. And we're just going to place that to the side while we wait on our chicken. So y'all, it's been about a couple of hours for our marinade for our chicken. We also have our breading station going, and we have our baking pan with some foil on top. So while we let our chicken get to room temperature, this is some of the ingredients that we'll be using for our red velvet waffles. So for our red velvet waffle dry ingredients, we're going to start off with about 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're just gonna sift that powder through our sifter. Next, we're gonna add about 1.5 cups of sugar. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of your favorite cocoa powder. And then we're gonna add about 1 teaspoon of salt, and we're just gonna whisk that all together. Now let's get started on our wet ingredients. So we are taking 2 eggs, we're just going to give that a nice little whisk. Then we're going to be taking about 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. Then we're going to add about 1 cup of buttermilk. And then we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor. And then we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of white distilled vinegar. And then we're going to add our red food coloring. We're going to add, I usually add about half of the bottle of our red food coloring, which equals about a couple tablespoons. And we're just going to whisk that all together, y'all. Okay, so now we're going to add this wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. We're going to whisk those up together. And then there we have our red velvet base for our waffles. And it should look something like this. So y'all, let's get started on our chicken. We're gonna make sure we shake off all the excess liquid from our chicken before we place it into our breading. So once you drip that off, go ahead and drop in the breading station. And you wanna make sure you get into all those little crevices with your flour mixture. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. And flip it over. And just kind of pat it on in there. Once you feel like your chicken has enough flour, go ahead and shake that off. And we're gonna lay it on our tray and just let it rest. And we're just gonna keep repeating that process for all of our chicken legs, our wings. Okay, y'all, so that is all of our wings. We're just gonna let them rest for about 10-15 minutes. You could already see the ones that have been sitting are already turning, so that flour is sticking to our chicken very well. We also have our oil in our skillet warming up, and we are gonna get that to about 350 degrees. So while we let that rest, let's get started on our waffles. We're just gonna take about a cup of our red velvet batter and place that into our waffle maker. And basically just follow the directions of whatever kind of waffle maker that you have. And we're gonna close it and give it a nice flip until it's ready. Hey, so we're taking our thermometer just to see how hot our oil is, and you can't really see it, but it's about at 350 degrees, so it's pretty much ready for our chicken to dive into. So we're just gonna place 3 of our chicken wings in there. You don't want to overcrowd your skillet because it will lower the temperature. So we're just gonna place that on in there. You want to let your chicken cook for a few minutes until they start becoming golden brown. And you could already see the chicken is about brown. We're going to just flip it. Make sure they get cooked evenly on both sides. And usually the process takes between about 8 to 10 minutes. And we're going to remove those chicken wings. Give it a nice little shake of that oil off of there. And we're just going to repeat that process with the last 3 pieces of our wings. So let's get started on our hot honey sauce. We've taken about 2 tablespoons of butter and we have that melted already. We're going to use Mike's hot honey today. We're just going to pour a good big old chunk in there. And we're going to be taking Weber's Kickn chicken just to add a little bit of seasoning into our sauce. And then we're going to be adding some hot sauce. Add your favorite. I'm using Bull's Louisiana hot sauce. And just adjust to your liking. If you want it hotter, obviously add more hot sauce. If you want it sweeter, add more honey. It's all up to you and your taste buds. But this is pretty much the basis of your hot honey sauce. It's really easy, y'all. And just keep stirring and let that simmer. So our chicken has been resting on our wire rack for about 10 minutes. So you can see it's beautiful. They're nice and golden brown and crispy from that cornstarch being added to our flour. So let's go ahead and place that into our bowl. And we're gonna add our sauce in there. You wanna do this while it's hot, that way your sauce will stick to your wings. Make sure you get all that hot honey goodness on up in there. You just take you some tongs and we're just gonna give them a nice flip. Make sure everybody gets some of that sauce. And don't be like me, use a bigger bowl, y'all. I don't know why I'm using my smaller bowl, but just use something bigger. But you could already see how that hot honey sauce is sticking to our chicken. Ooh. I'm so hungry, I'm ready to eat. They look good. So yeah, let's get to plating our chicken and waffles. And we're just going to place some parsley on our chicken for some garnish. And we're going to add some powdered sugar to our red velvet waffles. And we're also going to be adding a glaze of just some powdered sugar mixed with milk. And you'll know the right consistency because it'll be a little thicker to create a little glaze for you. But y'all, if you want some brunch vibes on a Saturday or a Sunday at your house, this is the recipe for you. But it's easy, y'all. And I hope you enjoy this recipe. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, share with your family, and eat. Have a good time. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So this is another episode of MK's Kitchen, y'all. I will see you next time. Bye.